When I was 16, I had 16. It sort of grew from there. When we opened this place up, I had about 85, maybe 90.
Holy crap, Sid.
This is sort of the granddaddy to all the machines that people use today that aren't Mac.
Does Bill Gates know you have this?
Well, he called earlier.
If you pine for the days when Steve Jobs and Bill Gates were struggling nobodies and the Commodore and the Amiga were king, well, we've got a story for you. Natasha Eloy met up with a guy who's actually got his own PC museum of sorts, and Nat has the story that's got a gigabyte or just a byte or a bit of goods for you.
Holy crap, Sid.
Got a couple of computers here.
You've totally taken me back in time.
No need to adjust your set, and no, you haven't stepped back in time. What you've just entered is a twilight zone of sorts, or in this case, Sid Bolton's backyard shed. A shed that contains a virtual history of the world of computers. As overwhelming as it was to stand amongst all these keyboards, hard drives, and monitors, it definitely brought back some of my childhood memories of my first computer.
Oh, do you have a VIC-20? Because that was my first video gaming system.
Yeah,
computer.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, a collection like this doesn't start overnight.
How long has this been going on for?
I got my first computer when I was 12,
Yeah.
which was a while ago.
Yeah.
And when I was 16, I had 16. And, you know, it sort of grew from there. When we opened this place up, I had about 85, maybe 90, somewhere in that range. And so in the last 3 years or so, we've got to about 600.
Take us on a tour. Like, what do you, like, I don't even think I've ever seen some of these computers before. Like, what do we have here?
This is the Apple II Plus, so this is what really got Apple its major start in the industry. And beside it, we have something called the Orange Peel, which was actually designed in Canada, and it was actually an Apple clone. But can't find it anywhere these
Apples
days.
to oranges.
Absolutely. We also have the Next machine. This is where the World Wide Web got its start.
Oh.
The very first web browser and web server were actually done on this machine.
Now, this has no computer monitor. What's happening here?
Yeah, there's not even a keyboard on this. This is actually the oldest computer we have. This is called the IMSI 8080. And this computer, you communicate with these flip switches.
What did you just tell the computer to do?
I told it to make sure it watches next week's episode of The Circuit.
Nice. Good plug. Okay, so we've seen your coolest, we've seen your oldest. Now, obviously, there's got to be the rarest in the room.
Yeah, the Lisa here, the Apple Lisa. Yeah.
Lisa.
Yeah, it's actually the precursor to the Macintosh, and these things were $10,000 when they first came
Holy,
out. So
that's mucho dinero.
Yeah.
And the name Lisa.
Steve Jobs, you ever heard of that guy? That's
Maybe, think
that's
so.
his daughter's name.
Oh,
so,
okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Curious to know what drives Sid's extreme passion for these retro computers?
People are getting rid of these machines, and I thought, you know, I've got to rescue these things. I got to save them, because it's not just the history of the computers, but it's people's own personal history. The things that you remember. You remember playing the VIC-20, and that's important to
Nostalgia
you.
in full effect
Absolutely.
right now.
And so that's why we're doing what we're doing here. There's a lot of game systems up here, too, because you know what? Video games are actually my real passion. I love computers, but I love games, too.
Something tells me there's a whole lot more. Oh, dear. And, oh, there's an invasion on the horizon.
Passionate? I'm pretty sure it goes a little bit beyond passionate when he's got 5,000 games. That sounds a bit more like obsessive to me. Anyway, that's all for The Circuit this week. If you are passionate about space and The Circuit, you can go to our website for more info, spacecast.com. I'll see you next week. Well, speaking of old games, I really need your help out there to find one, a PC emulator version of Conquest, a game I used to play on Amiga with my father. It was awesome. It was a space game where you would send spaceships from one planet to another, but only find out about what happened like a few turns later. It was a turn-based game, and all it was on screen was a map of the star system you're in, where they used letters of the alphabet to represent the stars. So if you can find a PC emulator, send it to me. Conquest. It looked like this, and email me at spacecast.com.